Welcome, welcome, welcome. Get to know. It's good to see you. I'm just finishing up some little odds and ends. Please forgive me. So I hope everyone is doing good. You blocked me on Facebook. I hope you're doing well, hun. Oh, so are you. And thank you. Thank you for the post. I actually was almost going to cancel this live. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do it today. But sometimes we ask ourselves, how YouTube famous do you want to be? Do you want to be famous or do you want to set an example for our communities? Hold on just one sec. Is my StreamYard lagging? No, there it is. Okay, good. So I am streaming on both. I'd rather set an example than be famous. Yeah, me too. I'd rather be the example. And we can't change anyone. And so it's like pointless to even try. If you are out here on YouTube trying to change someone else's behavior, you're beating a dead horse on that one. Most likely they'll probably be that way for the rest of their life, whether it's a good person or whether it's sometimes a good person or sometimes they're not a good person. And it just depends on, why they're here and for what purpose. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? I've really tried hard to set an example for myself, my children, and the channels. And sometimes I get slack for it, but I don't care. I really don't. And when you let people influence your everyday life or influence the feeling that you're having at the moment, you're letting too much in. So, say for instance, they get to know wants to be a computer programmer and he doesn't have someone that's supporting him in that idea. That's putting a lot of negative pressure on him, and then he'll second guess his decision on that. And I'm not saying he has a negative relationship like that, because he doesn't. He has an amazing relationship with his wife, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And at what risks are we willing to take to set an example, to be that example? I've heard people running around all over YouTube talking their shit and how they think that this person is bad and that person is bad, but yet they're doing the exact same thing to a point. Set the example. The people that are out there know the people that are doing wrong. Let them make a fool of themselves, you guys. Don't drag yourself down with it. If you see someone acting like a fool, we're not the YouTube police. We're not the Twitch police. We're not any other, streaming site police or search engine police. You know what I mean? Can we bring awareness to certain situations? Yes, we can. But try not to look like a fool doing it. I see too many people that I enjoy watching going down that road. Is it for clicks and views? I don't know. But is that the kind of tone you want your channel to be set at? Think about the risks that are involved and getting into this type of business. And yes, this streaming is a business. It's a business for anyone that does it. And if they're not, say they go on like once a month, yeah, then it's more like a hobby. But people that go on regularly, making regular videos, making content or non-creative content, at some point they will look at it as a business. They may look at it as, informational or whatnot, but they're either seeking that acknowledgement towards them, like they're trying to do something good. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but take your ego out of it. Take your ego part out of it, guys and ladies, gents. Try to do the right thing from your heart. And I know there is people out there that are attempting to do the right thing. And I've said this before. Don't let your ego get involved. I see bands of people that were once friends separating. They're not even my friends. But it still bothers me to watch them separate and segregate and then lash out at each other. I've said this before, and I think Grateful Nomad has said this before. There's quite a few of us that are like, can we just all get along? We could. I don't think they choose to. There's some people out there that just have a lot of hate and bitter anger in their heart. Don't let it influence you. Don't. I'm seeing people get their hearts broke because they've become attached to certain people. And then they think they've been done wrong. Not saying they haven't been done wrong. I'm sure there is many people that have been done wrong. But if you did pick a side at one point and you've stood by that person, and then they just turn around and trash you for no reason because you didn't pick up a phone or for whatever reason, do you really want that person as a friend? Of what you can call a friend here on this platform? There's a couple of people that I really do enjoy watching. I enjoy watching Get to Know. I enjoy watching Grey Pill. I enjoy even watching Dolly Vision. There's a lot of people that have some bitter taste in their mouth about Dolly Vision or, Bullhorn Betty. I happen to like them. Does it make me a bad person? No. Hey, Bill. Hate does take up too much work. It takes more muscles in your face to frown than it does to smile. It takes more energy to dig up negativity than it is to give love. Billy, I sent you a message on that game. I got the information and then I kind of like copied and pasted and sent it over. So the next time I try to run it, we'll know where to go. Jello Inky. Oh, hello, Inky. Some people are always going to be goofy here. Let me start up here. And back to setting that example, then be famous. Setting the example and giving the knowledge depends on what you're here for, as I've said before. And if you're here just to be a shit talker, just think that's all you're giving to the world. You're not even giving the best part of you. It's so easy just to make up stuff and just spit it out. Waves, hate takes too much work. Yes, it does. I just had someone leave a comment on my last live and they said, you let Arctic Timberwolf. Okay, so prime example. Do you know for a fact that person is that person? I mean, come on. There's millions of them out there with us every day. We don't walk down the street pointing it out, saying, yeah, he's loose walking around. If these people want to be pedo finders, then why are they not out there working their own neighborhood? Why do they have to do it here? Not that I care what they choose to do with their life, but I'm just saying, in a lot of instances, these people are making themselves look completely ridiculous. And, you know, I don't know who made that statement. But people throw that word around really loosely these days without realizing that there could be possibly just, how do I say this? Repercussions for their behavior when you use certain terms really loosely. Good if I figure out my buttons also. Oops. I know. You might just have it like, I don't know. You might have to go into the settings, hun, and check it and see what that keybind is for. I went through a lot of settings and stuff on mine earlier, trying to figure things out. And I didn't even know I could add people from PlayStation and all the other stuff, and there's actually a little button you can go to add friends from different areas. Welcome, Sun Honey. Nope, I'm just saying he is. I just don't know. I just know that I don't know that info. Oh, I'm not saying he is. I just know that I don't know that info. I don't take him as a pet. And you know what? This is where some people from certain communities would come in and like go deep diving, trying to figure this out. And I understand that there is human beings out there that do carry those characteristics that like to go hunt children. And yes, they need to be caught. But if someone isn't actively doing that and you haven't seen them do that, please be careful about how loosely you use those words. It's offensive. It's not fair. And those are strong allegations to throw around. And to me, it's just downright pathetic, but that's just me. Just freaking, I hate stupidity. Call me silly. Whoever that is, they have me blocked. How rude. Whoever who is, hun. Billy Bongwaters, I'm streaming on both channels, so you may not be able to see what the other channel writes. That's why I'm posting everything so everybody can still see. I don't know exactly who's on which channel, but both channels are going. Oh, you're fine. Oh, it's okay. So, with that being said, we have to think about the repercussions of the things that we decide to do. So, for people that like to stream, at what risks are you willing to take to become that YouTube famous, to go viral? Arky Butt, welcome, honey. Are you willing to risk your anonymity being thrown under the bus? Really verbally trashed? Because pretty much every single person I know that has attempted to stream has been trashed to some extent, and even their panel members and their chat members. Arkansas, sir. You know what I mean? So for those of you out there, just please keep that in mind. Whether you're a gaming streamer or you're a podcaster, informational speaker, just a bullshitter. Maybe someone who wants to be a comedian and wants to do comedic stuff. Someone is not going to like you, and prepare for the worst. For God's sakes, I have a channel about domestic violence. And there's people calling me narcissistic. Yeah, I do have some narcissistic tendencies. I worry about certain things that maybe I take a little too seriously. But I think most people do have a smaller bit of narcissism in them. That doesn't make them narcissistic. They just have some of those characteristics. Again, word usage, and when used inappropriately, can be very offensive. I was on a panel with Gray Pill Podcast. And our topic was, I guess it was about this girl who had quit dancing, and she had switched to another type of hustle. Fitting something, or something in fit. And what she was saying, coming out of her mouth, is that she wanted to be in a relationship, but the people that she's hanging out with is demeaning her. And like trying to tell her that she's trash. Now, I know a lot of women from that industry, and just because they were a dancer or entertainer or showgirl, whatever, doesn't make them trash. There is trashy ones, but it doesn't make them trash. Because you know what? If Jesus is going to give the grace to a hooker, don't you think everybody here deserves grace? Even that girl, Icy, whatever her name is. I don't know. I'm sure if Gray Pill Podcast jumps in, he would remember what it was. Sun Honey says, been there, clipped, restreamed. Restreamed, blah, blah, blah. Move on, trolls. Exactly. And they will. They'll get tired of talking about you at some point. But it does put people at risk. It does. having my shit clipped, I don't care. You can even not like that I have brunette hair or blonde hair sometimes. Maybe because I wear pigtails in my hair, little pig buns. Oh, she looks too immature. I don't give a shit what you think. I'm 50 years old. Do you think I give a shit what you think? No. What I give a shit about is the information that I'm putting out there for people that need it. Anybody else, I don't give two shits about. Or what they think. Exactly. True. I know a lot of hookers. I don't judge them. Wow, Billy, you do, huh? Even when it comes to that industry is probably one of the hardest industries to even come out of. Because if you told somebody what you did for a living, do you think you would be judged appropriately? You can't just tell them, hey, I did it to put myself through college. I did it to buy myself a house that I didn't have to pay a house note on. If I could make that kind of money and go buy myself a house cash, would you give up that little bit of your spirit or your sanity to do so? I know there's probably a lot of women that may be like, hey, you know what? I could bang out a house in a year and I won't have a house note no more. They'd probably do it. And let me ask you one question. If you agree or don't agree, type of 1 if you agree, type of 2 if you don't agree, because I have something to say after. If you would do it, if you could buy a house and have it paid off in a year, type of 1. Or if you were downright would refuse to do it, type of 2. And I'm never going to claim I was one because I never was. You know what? That happens a lot, son, honey. So son, honey brought that up, and I will address that. So, Billy says, 2, I can't do it. Why can't you do it? If you could do it, if you could be, a street worker, or I mean, they do have professional facilities. If you could do it for a year, you're single or not even married, whatever, and buy yourself everything you need and have no bills, would you do it? Billy said it doesn't leave his life. That's why. Now let me explain something. For those women that do it, I have their back. You know why? Because it ain't no different than a single woman hooking up with a guy and having him pay her bills. Ain't no different. Hear that carefully. You meet a chick at a bar, she's broke. She gets in a relationship with you, plays you over real well because she wants her bills paid. There ain't no different. Women do it all the time to get comfortable. Dudes now do it a lot. They have their little sugar mamas. Why he's at home smoking his blunts, hanging out, doing nothing, playing video games, and she's out working her butt off. Some people are okay with it, some people are not. But what I want you to understand is that is probably the longest, or not the longest, the oldest industries since the Bible days. And I kind of joke around about women that get into relationships with men and sleep with them and then up and leave, and then or they get dumped and they go into another relationship and there's no time span. I'm like, man, them are some non-profit hoes because they ain't even getting paid. They're just putting out for no reason. If you're going to put out, at least get something out of it. Either get a mutual relationship out of it or your bills paid. That goes for entertainers too. Dancers, strippers, whatever you want to call them. Anybody that's in that industry. Because at least their money's coming in and their bills are paid. You won't find too many broke ones. She was in the field because her father was abusing her and she had to dance, or her other choice, at age 17. And sometimes situations do occur that there's broken women in that industry. But women that are getting the big money, a lot of them are in that industry to get the money and get out. Honest to God. Somewhat is a step over the dark side a little bit. Somewhat. It's a step over the dark side a little bit. What's a step over the dark side? It's good stuff too. Yep. Kept women come in many forms. Think of all them younger women that are marrying older, rich movie stars or doctors that are retired. Think about it. They wouldn't have a whole Sugar Babies website if it wasn't a thing, you guys. Single and looking. To me, I couldn't do it. But my point is, like, if they're going to do it, I mean, if you're going to just go around and put out, at least get paid of some sort. Don't go out and catch something, and especially when there's gifts that keep on giving that you can't get rid of. If you're going to take a risk with your health, with your life, at least get paid. Now, back to what I was saying. So now this is taking that step into, that industry where they have their little OnlyFriends or OnlyFans or whatever. And at least they're doing it behind a camera, but that's something that they'll probably never be able to escape. Somehow, some way, that is always going to be out there and they will be exposed. And a lot of people don't think about it until it happens. Every time I put my face on YouTube, it can be exposed to some negativity that's going on in today's society. I was called a nonprofit for a long time, Billy Ball Waters, because I actually believe in love, and I believe that I'm going to find that Prince Charming and, live happily ever after. Wrap yourself up in cellophane first. She did it for years and then found out she was a great student when her father was not telling her all that negative mind games. Yeah. And it's crazy because when you're in a situation that's full of negativity in your home environment, a lot of times we take that with us as an adult. Not intentionally, it just happens, unless we've had therapy, counseling, and learning what healthy can be. Like, I was in a really, really healthy relationship and really got to know what love feels like and what I wanted out of my next relationship. So I already know what I want, and I'm one of the women that just doesn't want to settle for less than what I want. I don't want to argue. I don't want to fight. I don't want none of that kind of BS. I get there can be bickering, but yeah, right? Welcome, Rich, the beer guzzler. He has a Raiders picture. Maybe he's from like the Westin and Coastin. The law of attraction. He is out there looking for you too. I believe in that. I really do. I do carry a little bit of fear with me, because of trauma, but it doesn't prevent me from ever wanting to try. And that's where a lot of people get stuck, is in that stage of not wanting to try. So they just choose to grow old by themselves. So at any rate, my whole point to this was, if you really want to make this, little novella shows a thing and actually work towards making it a business, just prepare yourself that you're going to get a lot of heat from a lot of different directions. It isn't always going to be bliss. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be a lot of work, a lot of time in. And it would be like, could you imagine being like a film maker and making films and making films and making films, just waiting for that one to take off? It's kind of like that. Like them starving LA actors and actresses. Like they work for nothing until they make it big, and a lot of them don't even make it big. The same thing is here. They just got to go viral. Someone's got to find something in them that makes them viral. It's no different. Where did my little buddy go? Where did Get to Know go? So I would never promote that industry for anyone. Shoot, I think it's even hard doing this one. But as long as you keep your head screwed on straight and stick to what it is you want to do, and try to stay anonymous as long as you can, unless you just don't care about your personal life ever being exposed, like being married, having kids, being single, not having kids, where you lay your head at night, who you sleep with on the side, it'll come out. So, just be prepared for that. And there's always going to be some guy that's going to be like, even Get to Know's been there. I think Billy Bongwaters has been there too. I think all of us in this chat right now has been there at some point or other. And I ask myself on a daily basis, does it ever stop? No. Do you think Tom Cruise gets harassing freaking letters in the mail? Need to return to dreamland? No doubt. I don't even know what time it is. No, it's 9:44. So that's all I wanted to put out there. Was I just want people to really think about what they're willing to risk. And if they're really willing, do it. Because if you are, then you probably have something that's really beautiful to share with the YouTube community, with the Twitch community, Kick, whatever else is out there, Rumble. You probably have some fun stuff in your mind that's just waiting to be conjured up. Just be aware of safety precautions. You get around. When did you think I was going to say that? Not today, my friend, not today. But anyways, that's all I want to chit chat about. And if you guys had any questions or would like to add anything, I would be more than happy to bring you up if you wanted to talk about it. If not, I'm going to post some safety measures on my community page for this channel, things that you can do. And I think I'm going to repost a video that helps explain how to keep yourself protected and safe. And also how to keep you financially safe when you come into an industry like this. So yeah, kind of helps give you an idea on how to get things moving in the right direction and avoid some of that negativity along the way. I have good chit chats. I'm not a big fan of being up here by myself, but I'm starting to like it. I am. I'm starting to be okay with it. I get kind of camera shy or mic shy sometimes, but I think I'm getting more comfortable. I don't feel that anxiety that I used to when I first started. I want to be uplifting and let people know that there is some sunshine and rainbows out there. You just got to stay away from those gloomy tornado clouds and those hurricanes that come sweeping through and completely throw you off your feet. So get back on the horse and keep shrugging along and just block out the BS. I have now recently come to, hey, has anything been going on YouTube? Because I'm really not paying attention anymore. I'm not really watching it. I have other things I'm doing. So if I hear something, it's probably because someone's either messaged me or whatnot. There's a couple of people I still enjoy watching. Every once in a while, I pop into Belvives being a supporter. And a couple other people. But, I don't spend nearly as much time doing that as I did when I first got into this. And I was like, oh my gosh, this person's saying this. Oh my gosh, this person is saying that. Because it's going to bring you into that negativity. And I didn't want to be there. I don't want to live there mentally. Big Hurt 916. No, I haven't, hun. I haven't. There's a couple of them. I think there's one that I really dig. He's like an Australian guy, and he does a lot of athletic dancing, and he sings while he's doing it, or it's he ad-libs to songs or something. I kind of dig him. I listen to a lot of uplifting stuff, but it's when I'm mainly going to sleep, so I can sleep easier and not really dwell on the BS that goes on. So I think I am, let me check the calendar. On the 5th of August, no, it's the 6th. Let me see. I'm going to be doing a merch video. How do I open this calendar? Okay, let me do it for my phone. It's the 6th. It's on Sunday. So on Sunday, I'm going to be doing a merch print video. I'm just in the process of working out how I'm going to set up the cameras so you're able to watch me print merch, so that merch can be sent out. And I'm also going to be doing a couple of modifications to some shirts because some people do like the slash shirts, the cut shirts. B said he wants to be YouTube famous. B, you're welcome to come up if you want. Here you go. Here's the link. Even B, I don't even think B would want his whole personal life of how he puts his underwear on in the morning all over YouTube. I can't imagine a person really wanting that. And I think how people portray. So B's probably heard me. I know he's heard me say this before. Is you're driving on the highway and you're in a car and there is a car next to you. Okay. And in that car next to you, there's a husband driving. Welcome up, B.
Hey, how's it going? I mean, if people really care to see how I put my underwear on, I don't care. It's kind of a dumb thing.
I think you've probably heard me say this before, and it's the husband is driving. His wife just passed away, and he's upset, and he's driving down the highway, and he is tunnel visioned on his way to the hospital. And then you have a guy in the car next to him, and they look at each other. And the guy next to him thinks that he's giving him really dirty looks, when the guy that just lost his wife is oblivious to the look on his face because he's in distress. But the guy in the car on the left thinks the guy in the car on the right is being an a-hole. He's speeding, he's slowing down, he has erratic driving, and the guy in the car on the left, his perception, he has no idea what the guy in the car on the right's doing or what's going on in his head. It's the same thing here. It's one of the reasons I don't like text messages, because you can't hear tone in a text message. And I am a person that speaks very, I don't want to say aggressively, but aggressively. I'm very direct. I really don't sugarcoat anything in my life. Ask my kids, they'll tell you. If there's something that's weighing on me, I just spit it out. So the moral of the story is, if you're in car A on the left and there's a guy in car B on the right, you don't know what's going through his mind or how he really feels, and he is wondering why you're cussing him out. He's already having a rough day. And so in his perspective, he goes, this guy in the car on the left doesn't even understand the pain I'm going through right now. And so right there is the beginning of road rage. It's the beginning of a misunderstanding that should never have taken place. And it happens a lot here on the streets. By someone not returning a phone call. I heard that one already. Someone got mad because someone else didn't return a phone call. What? We're all adults here. Shit happens. The phone is there for convenience. It's not there because you're my parent and I have to answer the phone. Come on, people. Shit, I have a cell phone, 2 of them, and I get texts and emails, and half the time I forget to return them because I'm busy doing something else. I'd be fired if I had to depend on my phone and responding to every single thing that came through at every moment of the day.
You'd be fired if you had to work a regular job.
Yeah, because I'd be screaming at the boss. If I had to work for someone else, yeah, I'd be screaming at the boss. I want more money.
We all do.
That's why I've been a business owner for so long. I've been a business owner since I was 24 years old.
Well,
23 and a half.
Money? Why don't you loan me a few mil?
Weren't you a business owner too?
Yes, I was. For many years. 9 years.
Mm-hmm. It's rough.
You can't find help. It's tough. I actually gave my business up to go help a friend with his business because I was so burned out. And then I wound up running his business for almost 20 years.
Yeah, because sometimes it can be hard when you are working for someone else, but yet you're doing all the work and they're sitting around just collecting the cash.
Well, I mean, he would call me from his boat in the middle of the lake. But yeah, that was the thing that bothered me the most. We couldn't find help. We're finding good employees, somebody that will work with the same work ethic you have. It's next to impossible. And I worked in a business that had a lot of young guys in it. And I hate to say this because it's not all young people, but I would say that 95% of the guys I hired were in their mid-20s and right around that age. And some of them were the laziest people you will ever meet in your life.
Oh yeah. I would get on to my employees left and right. I wasn't a hated boss, but they knew I was strict. And they knew if they were going to get paid by me, they were going to work. They weren't going to be playing on their phones. They weren't going to be texting their girlfriends. They were going to work.
But that's the sad part, is now you almost have to expect and tolerate some of that, because without it, you won't have any employees.
No, you just get rid of them and get ones that really want to work.
But that's
and
just
get
it. You don't
benefits.
find that in the youth. You don't find that.
No, you have to teach them. You have to teach them what's important. As an elder, and you're now an elder, as an elder, it's our job to teach that to the younger generation. What do you value?
But you get to a point in business where you have to find a body. I mean, I couldn't find cars. The business I ran was in the automotive industry. We would work on cars for like new car dealerships, things like that.
I know, but you still have to influence the younger generation as an elder of
These
where their
kids have-
value lies.
But they don't care. That's just
It doesn't matter. That's your job as an elder, and I will repeat it again, is to influence the younger generation about those things. Because obviously, if they're not wanting to do it, they're not learning it at home.
That's exactly the problem. And by the time you deal with them, they're in their teens, early 20s. I mean, I had to let a kid go.
I had plenty of younger employees that loved me teaching them, that loved learning those types of things.
Don't take
I mean,
this
but
wrong.
I've always been that way. Even with my kids, my older kids, their buddies would be like, I've never liked vegetables in my life, but man, Inky cooks them the best. And they would go home and their parents would be like, how come my son eats veggies at your house? And it's just the way you talk and you learn to be with kids or someone that's younger than you on, it's called a no thank you bite. You try it. If you don't like it, then you don't have to eat it. But if you never have them try it, they're never going to know if they like it. Same thing with enriching them on working structure. It's the same thing.
Like, here's a good example.
This isn't a debate, by the way. I'm not trying to debate with you.
Nope. I'm just asking you. Right? Explaining to you what I dealt with. I had a kid named Nathan that worked for me. He took a brand new Dodge Charger to the dealership, or picked it up from the dealership. Backing out of a parking spot, he hit the showroom wall at the dealership.
But it happens.
Hang on. Let me finish. He then returns it to me.
Okay.
At the shop.
Okay.
We start working on it, and I get a phone call from the dealership. I said, because I had left them a message. I said, hey, before we start working on this car.
Come on.
Never mind. All right.
No, I want you to get to the moral part of it.
This kid felt no urge or even legitimate need in his mindset to let me know that he wrecked the car into their building at the dealership. An $85,000 car.
And was this your employee?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so did you sit him down and explain to him in a very nice parental manner the repercussions of those actions?
No, I let him go.
Okay, but that you didn't teach him anything. And that's what I'm saying.
That absolutely should
we as adults are here to teach. That's what God put us here.
At 23 years old, if you hit a building,
I've hit shit before.
But did you tell somebody?
It was my car. Yeah, I was yelling and screaming and said, thank God it was me, so I didn't have to choose somebody else out.
This kid hit a building in somebody else's car. And
I
he
hit the
their
damn the brick pillar on my curved driveway on the way out in my brand new car that didn't even have 1,000 miles on it yet.
Okay, so if you were driving a customer's car and you wrecked it, would you feel the urgency to not only let them know, but to take care of it?
Yes, and that's what insurance is for.
He did not.
Okay, but that's your job. One, you're his boss. So he should come to you and say, hey, this is what happened. And that's where you open up the lines of communication and say, hey, when something like this happens, you need to come straight to me so I can contact the owner to get a hold of their insurance company. But by you letting him go, he wasn't taught anything. Who cares about the job? It's you as a representative of the older generation to teach the younger generation. That's just my opinion. You know what? That's my opinion. And I'm sorry if it offends anybody, but I think as an adult at 50 years old, if I see someone younger than me making mistakes, I will say, hey, if you tried this might work out a little better, be a little more fruitful for you the rest of your life. You could take this with you as a learning, like your little handbook to help you get through life, because obviously that person wasn't taught those things as a kid by their own parents. So why not take that child under your wing, because you know that they don't have those types of, I can't even think of the damn word. For instance, say I have a younger female co-host and I see her flirting with strangers online and be like, hey, this could be dangerous. And make her like a little handbook, and, not physical handbook, but like, words of wisdom. So she can take those words and use them to help her through life. And some people don't have those, and they weren't taught those at home. It was your choice to fire the guy.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've had kids put holes through subwoofers. Expensive subwoofers. That was like 2 weeks of their paycheck. It happens. But that's what insurance is for. Okay, well, that kind of got messed up here. Let me ship this back and get a new one and, eradicate the issue. Maybe I'm different. I don't know.
You absolutely are. Because at 25 years old, you are not that child's parent. It's not your responsibility to take them under their.
To me, that right there, that I can't deal with that, because you know what? There's people that are 30. There's people that are 40 still are learning. And if you think that you know everything now, then you're stupid. Because you're going to learn till the day you die.
Exactly. You're continuing learning in life. But
so what's the difference between them learning and you learning?
Because at 25, you know right from wrong. If you damage something,
some people,
you got to take care of it.
Some people. But what if they weren't taught that?
Then that's the responsibility of your parents.
But they're an adult now. Their parents done booted them out the nest. So do you want this person that has no sense of remorse running around on the street, or would you, as an adult, say, hey, let me teach you something?
For me, I had 7 more just like him in the back that I had to keep up with. I don't have time to babysit and coddle one. If you don't know common sense, unfortunately, I don't have a place for you.
I don't know what to tell you, B. I don't. I don't know what to say to that. I don't know. Because this is going to be one of those situations where I have to agree to disagree. And I think as an adult, and I'm at my age, if I see someone that's younger than me doing something that could be detrimental to their life or their ability to have growth, I'm always going to, say, hey, you should try this or you should try that. We don't need to keep creating more ignorance in the world. Why perpetuate the cycle? That's my whole point today. Why perpetuate the cycle? Because right now, with situations just like that, is why we have the issues we have today. Because people aren't stepping up, saying, hey, maybe this isn't a good idea. YouTube is the parent. We're its children, doing all kinds of dumb shit. And our parents not listening half the time. So there's people out there doing dumb shit. Until someone goes to the parent and says, hey, I think this is a little out of control, don't you? That means that an elder had to go to the parent to eradicate the issue. Is it our job? No. And like I say, it's not my business, not my job. And let the cycle perpetuate. And things get out of hand to the point that they are today. It's called the love for humanity, people. Learn it. We're not here alone. You got this vast world of people. And it takes 5 milliseconds to look at someone and smile and make their day, or they could off themselves. Let's take that 5 little milliseconds to help make someone's day better. Probably be a lot of less aggression out there. Rich says today the younger generation don't even have communication skills in society. No, they need to be taught. Some do. Some do. A lot don't. Get to know says you're right, Rich. Yeah, it starts at home, but I've seen it in you. Seen it. You have parents who work, etc., and their kids are raised online, and they don't show them responsibility, work ethic. You have many youth that don't want to work. Exactly.
You have a large number that want to be YouTube stars.
Shit, there's YouTube stars that make way more money than a lot of people that didn't even graduate high school. They're still in like elementary school.
The problem is these kids see that and then they get this false perception. It's like everybody wanted to be a rock star when I was a kid in the 80s.
There's people that still want to be rock stars.
There are. That's the problem. They're 50 years old and still trying to be a rock star.
There's people that are 15 that want to be rock stars.
Right, but the odds of that happening.
What are the odds?
I guarantee it's low.
With YouTube around, with Twitch around, though I think those odds are a lot higher now. Because now people have the ability to be seen and noticed. Chat, what's your perception? Is having social media like YouTube as a platform to help these up and growing stars be more seen? Or back in the cowboy Indian days when you had to live someplace to get noticed on the streets of LA?
Which is one way to look at it. You can also look at it as now that it is more accessible. There's more competition out there that's brought in front of these people that are, record producers and things like that, because they are brought forward more.
And it also depends on how much that dream is really important to you. If your dream is really important to you, then you're going to work at it to succeed. You won't let the little bullshit get in your way. You will do everything you can to succeed.
Again, that's where we differ. That's where, that's a great theory. but it doesn't necessarily work out that way. You can
Why?
work your ass off your whole life, and you can be an amazing artist. This doesn't mean that you're going to ever get $1 out of it.
Why not? If you have people that are backing you and saying, hey, you need to submit your artwork over here, you need to submit it over there, it does move. A lot of this, again, stands behind having that support system around you. If you do not have a support system that is supporting you in your ideas, you are not going to succeed very well. So, like, when I see other creators and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have amazing points, I always say, hey, drop your link, because there may be someone in my chat that adds them and they just blow up.
There may be.
Maybe someone from legislature will see, all the information that Get to Know puts out and says, yeah, we really need to do something about this. They're making amazing points here. This is really harming our community. And then it blows up. You never know. But if you don't have faith and you don't have hope and you don't have a support system, then what the hell are you here for? At 25 years old, they think they have it all figured out. Shh, I thought I had it all figured out at 17. Nope. True that. Even if you suck at what you're doing, you can say something nice. Like, I'm a terrible inspirational speaker, but I try. I try to take the things that meant a lot to me as a child and do those things with other people and keep carrying that on, because you don't see a lot of it. And I think that's why I praise Get to Know and his wife so very much, because I see the amazing relationship him and his wife have, and I could only dream about thriving in such a relationship. If you've ever listened to how Get to Know's relationship is with his wife, I'm not saying that they don't have rough times, but that the way they uplift each other and are understanding to each other and they listen to each other is a beautiful thing.
And that's an amazing thing for them.
It's an amazing thing for anybody who has that. Every relationship should thrive like that. If your relationship is not thriving, then there's really no relationship. It's just sitting stagnant.
Absolutely. By the way, I found the numbers for your stats. It's 1/4% make money on YouTube.
I make money on YouTube.
1/4%.
That's how much you make per view.
No. 0.25%. So 1/4% point of the users on YouTube make enough to make a living on it. That's what the exact numbers I couldn't produce for.
Well, I mean, we know quite a few creators just in our very, very small realm that make money to live on.
Not money to live on, but actually make a living on it.
Yeah. I mean, Salty was doing good. Jim was doing good. Mr. X was doing good. I mean, I don't know about Miss T. I don't know about Kaylee. I don't know about them, but I know that those, I mean, even LC was doing good. But they work at it. And they worked at it diligently. If you don't work at it, you're not going to be good at anything.
Oh, absolutely. But those are the statistical odds.
Thank you, Billy Bong Waters. Yeah, some don't try to make money. And that's another thing. Like, some don't really try to make money. They just throw content out. But there's, I don't even know how many freaking users there are on YouTube, but only, I would say, a few 100,000
I think it was like
are,
that
no,
same thing just
no, a
had
few
numbers.
100,000 are actually trying to make it as a living. The rest of them just put content out or
I
just
think they-
watch.
Yeah, I think they said 39 billion users.
That doesn't mean they're trying to make money. There's only 1.5 million content creators on YouTube. It says YouTube has a sophisticated ad sharing model with about 55% of YouTube and revenue going to creators. In 2021, YouTube paid creators $15 billion. According to another source, there's roughly 15 million active content creators on YouTube. 1.5 million content creators are making money. Here's another source that says the new sweeping look at the content creator ecosystem. It's 2 million full-time and 46.7 part-time creators are on YouTube. So there is a lot of money to be made if that's what you're going for. How many users there is of YouTube? Billions. But how many content creators are there that are trying to make it a functional business? Billy says, I'm not simping either. What the hell does simping mean? Being sympathetic, maybe? Here's another one. Ooh, Instagram is really busy. YouTube is only 12, where Instagram is 30 million. There's only 12 million amateur creators. There's only 1 million professional creators on YouTube, where there is 500,000 professional creators on Instagram and 30 amateur creators. There. Oh, okay, Billy. I was like, what the hell does that mean? Then you have Twitch, which is 0.3 professional and 2.7 amateur. There's other platforms that are much less. Anywhere from 3 to 5 G's a month. I think you're doing pretty good. At least it's enough to pay your car note and house note. For someone to sit behind a desk and talk on a mic. Or play video games or whatever they do. Make mini commercials. Advertising for products. I think they're doing pretty good. So I look at it as technology moves every day. It grows. Me being from the Silicon Valley, I've watched technology boom from my childhood. And I remember seeing the first computer, Commodore, growing up. Well, little floppy disks and hard disks, and then big hard disks, and it moved on to CDs, DVDs, CD-ROMs. I watched it grow. And it amazes me that our culture is in refusal to grow with it. They're like in denial. Oh, they just want to be YouTube creators. What if it's like the next million? You know what? I think we all should have invested in it when YouTube came out. Just like Apple, you guys. Yeah. Because then we would be rich watching everybody else make money. But we're in such denial as a community. Hey, grow with the times. Just saying. But back to what I was saying about inspirational speech and what you're at risk of, is if you are going to take that leap, because that's what the topic of this was, is becoming YouTube famous. Don't let people bring you down. Just prepare yourself like any movie star would. Because you may not be on the silver screen, but you're on the YouTube screen. And people will dig into your life just like they do anyone else. Except for you don't have the money and the protection to protect yourself like they do. Just saying. But that's what the topic was about today, B. At what risks are you willing to go to become YouTube famous?
Me personally, none.
And that's you. You like blue collar work. YouTubing is more of a white collar job. It's more of a sitting behind the desk kind of job, learning how to do video editing and producing content. I am not good at producing content. Hello, Kang Z. It's good to see you. I'm not very good at that stuff. I'm still in the process of learning. And so, you know, for me, I can edit a picture, but I'm still learning how to edit video and audio and how to make things work and make them look pretty and things like that. So I'm still learning and in the beginning stages of that type of lifestyle. Well, there's other people out there that they just zip right through that stuff. I mean, yeah. I can't even imagine knowing how to add audio to video and make pretty little movies. And I mean, it took me like 8 hours to make my first little 5-minute movie.
Yeah, I remember, I can't think of her name. What's her name? Anyway, that came on here and she made everybody new or like emojis or icons for their picture. She made like 6 of them in a 30-minute show. There are people that are just really good at it.
Mm-hmm. And they're used to the programs. Like I'm still learning some of these programs and I keep hopping around to different ones because I'm like trying out new programs as they grow and new, more popular stuff comes on the scene. And I'm kind of watching it and I'm like, oh, well, this may seem like it's, you know, a little more user friendly. And I'm not very, I don't want to say technologically inclined, but it just takes me more of a minute, you know, to like grasp the idea of like, this is what this button does. But if you'd like to see those statistics, these are the statistics right here.
Now, where are these statistics from?
A number of professional and amateur online content creators worldwide in 2020. Right here.
Be curious, what's the average income?
The average income? I don't know. Let's find out. $48,000 a year.
So that's less than what the average income is in America.
Depends on where you live.
I think the average in the U.S. is like 68.
Well, you can't just do the U.S. because this is whole worldwide. There's places that are much different.
Then you also got to include the fact that most of your regular jobs,
The an average person's income is 63. The median income is 44,000. So if you go back to this one, it's still more than the median income.
But then those,
which is amazing, because if they're making $23 an hour, that was a lot of money back in like 2010. They're making $4,000 a month. That's pretty decent unless you live in California or Hawaii or New York.
That
You
won't
take
get
$4,000. You take $4,000 a month and give it to someone in Oklahoma, Kansas, or Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and that's like, holy hell. I mean, I remember my mortgage was like $400 a month on 10 acres.
Yeah, those days are long gone.
It wasn't that. It was only a couple of years ago, Bill.
But those days are long gone.
No, they're not. You can still buy it for the same amount. Maybe just where you live, it's expensive. So you don't look at that way.
The average house where I live is about $300,000.
And you live in a city, more of a city type environment or close to the city. When you live out in the sticks in Oklahoma, it's not. It's like 30,000. I'll show you.
Okay. Yeah, because there's people that live at my job. They start new hires in at $20 an hour, and all they do is cry they can't afford their bills.
But that's because the cost of living in that area.
That's people.
The cost of living is going to the minimum wage or entry level job is going to go off the cost of living. That's why I've said before in previous streams where I'm like, if you can get hired for a job in California, making $250,000 a year, and they say they want to transfer you to say Texas or Kansas, say, yeah, that's fine. I want you to pay for my moving expenses and I want to keep my salary. And you're making out like a bandit.
Well, I know nothing about Kansas.
The average home in Oklahoma is $174,000 for a nice stick-built home.
Okay, so to afford that home, by any mortgage company standards, you're going to need to make about $70,000 a year.
It's 3.5 times your yearly gross is what you qualify for. So if you only make $50,000 a year, you're only going to qualify for a $150,000 home. Actually, you qualify for a little bit more than that.
Yes, so that same $44,000 we were just speaking of would not qualify you for the average home in that area in Oklahoma.
Okay, so you see, you like to bicker with me. So say you want a $174,000 home, you put a nice fat down payment on it, and then you reach that goal.
But that's not
right?
bickering with me. That's facts.
It's oh, okay. Again, we're going to just agree to disagree because I don't agree.
Okay.
Those are really nice homes for $174,000 in those places. Because you can buy a 3-bedroom stick-built home in OKC for like $30,000. Now, if you want to go to really nice areas, yeah, they're a little bit more. And you have to think about how much land is there versus how many. There's only 2.5 major cities in Oklahoma. The rest of them are little country towns where you can buy 10 acres with a house on it for $70,000.
Which is amazing if you can do that.
You can. That's what I'm telling you. But they're going off the medium of the two largest cities, which would be like Tulsa and Oklahoma City. I wish there was somebody in chat that was from there and they could explain it to you. But the land mass is mostly farmland. Kind of like Texas or Nevada. Nevada is like, there's two towns there. One is Vegas, one is Reno. The rest is desert.
Well, nobody wants to live in the desert.
Why? It's beautiful. Desert's gorgeous. It's dry. Your face don't break out. The money's good. No taxes. You don't have a whole bunch of crowded highways. I think Vegas is a little more congested than it used to be. But a lot of people from California moved to Nevada because it was so much cheaper to live there.
Oh, I'm sure. Sales tax alone. I just saw on the news that they were doing that thing in California where if your house is worth over a certain amount of money, I think it was like over $3 million or something like that, they were going to add an additional tax because your house is expensive. Like, what the hell? Yeah, they like to tax people out there.
So there's this house, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1468 square feet for $165,000.
Right, but that YouTube creator
acreage.
Yeah, but that YouTube creator income still wouldn't afford that.
Why wouldn't it?
Because it's 3 times your income. If you make 40-some thousand a year, it's only 120 a year they're going to approve you for.
So you only need to put down a $15,000 down payment. That's not even 20%. So you take 165 minus 20% down. That's what you have to pay on.
I would love to see a poll of how many $20 an hour workers out there have the ability to save up 15 grand.
Okay. Well, sometimes you got to come out of your shell. Welcome back, Get to Know.
I mean, if there's anybody in the chat that makes anywhere near that and has 20 grand in the bank or more, give us a 1.
Well, being there's only 5 people in here.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Billy Bongwater says, I do.
You got 20 grand or more in the bank and you only make $20 an hour?
What's wrong with that? At least he's working.
What I'm getting at is, like I said, we have $20 an hour employees. That's the starting wage at my job until you get up to scale pay, which is 32, I think, and 34. And those people complain every day that they don't have enough money. And those people still get free health insurance. They get paid vacation. They still get bonuses on top of that. Well, that's the point, really, is I'm saying that not many people that make $20 an hour have 20 grand in the bank. I mean, you're barely scraping by living alone on $20 an hour, at least where I live. Or even, like I said, a lot of these people come from Detroit, the city of Detroit, to live and work at my job.
Okay, so if the house is 168,000, you put 20% down, which is 33,600. Your mortgage is only 134,400, which is within that medium of getting a loan. So yes, it is
Yes,
feasible.
but like I said, okay, so show me somebody that makes $20
I know
an hour
Latino families that do it all the time here in the Bay.
that have 30 grand in the bank.
They probably have a lot more because they live in groups, just like Asian folks. Because they work as a team in a family. They don't want to live by themselves. They know living by yourself is harder than living with family members.
Yeah, but you're not going to move a whole family of people into that 1,400.
They do
square
all the
foot.
time.
You're going to move a whole family into a 1,400 square foot house?
Yeah, they do all the time. Family of 6.
Okay. Like I said,
Two people per bedroom. 3 bedroom, that's 6 people. God forbid if you have a husband and a wife and 4 kids, that's 6 people. But you're also the same type of person that wants your woman to work and bring in her own income. We've had these discussions. So if
you're
you're
right.
a
I'm
creator and
horrible-
she's a creator, now you're making 100 grand a year on YouTube.
You're right. You would both have to be creators.
Just saying, just throwing that out there. But yes, it is feasible. Because it only needs to be 3.5 times your yearly gross to qualify. Is there anything else you would like to add, B? To what risks you would take to being YouTube famous?
Me personally, like I said, I wouldn't do it. I don't think
Okay,
there's enough.
but we're saying if you want to. We're not saying if you don't want to. If you want to. If you wanted to be YouTube famous, what risks would you be willing to take to do so? And you can't say none because I wouldn't do it.
But that's just it. I wouldn't put it myself out there.
That's not the question. I'm asking you, what risks would you be willing to take to become famous?
I have no desire for that, so I can't answer
It's not, I'm not asking you to have the desire. I'm asking at what lengths would you go? What would you be willing to risk?
Nothing. It's not worth it to me.
Okay, I'm not asking it to be. At what risks are you willing to go have to your 9-to-5 job? Obviously your health, because your health has been going downhill. So you're risking your health to do your 9-to-5 job, right?
You're right.
Okay. So at what lengths are you going to go to keep making that cheddar?
I'll die. I don't care.
Okay, then. That's all I wanted to know.
But you have to look at that 9-to-5 job differently than YouTube. It's
No,
not
you
the
don't.
same.
People do it all the time.
What kind of retirement plan do they have at YouTube?
Well, you're a business owner. You have to make your own.
Oh, so what kind of health insurance do they have?
You pay your own just like any other business owner.
Oh, exactly. So you're losing a lot of benefits.
But you're a business owner. So if you have really good tax write-offs and you know how to do your taxes, then you're fine.
Well, what cost of the business do you have? You got StreamYard and what? Props?
Travel, software, cameras, computers, lighting, props. There's a lot that goes into it if you're serious about it. And you can use those as write-offs. Traveling to places to do videos, it's a write-off. Clothes you buy, it's a write-off. Hair products, it's a write-off. Makeup, it's a write-off. Just like an entertainer. Oh, wait, you're an entertainer. Just on YouTube. Just on the silver screen. All of it's a write-off. The car you drive. going out to dinners, meeting with people, to do shows, write off.
Yeah, some of that gets into a sketchy gray area, but yeah.
I mean, people who have 9-to-5 jobs at a blue collar job, you a lot of times do not get to write off the clothes or driving or your lunch, things like that. So as a benefit to doing YouTube, you can write off those types of things. And if you start when you're young enough, you could have your retirement ready to go. And if you're smart, you're either married, living with your girlfriend, or living with your parents. Like, if I was to get my kids into it, I would definitely do it when they're really young. So they have their college fund, their retirement, all of that. And then have them take like business and finance so they learn how to do all of that. So that's how I would promote it if it was something that my children were very interested in doing. I would promote it in that type of way and not be like, oh, that's a loser type of job. Because there is plenty of people out there making millions of dollars. But again, I am willing to let my children grow and grow with them as times change. But they also have to understand the repercussions and the risks that they're going to go through when someone tries to exploit them or say something bad about them. They need to understand those types of things. But I would never deter my kids from doing their dreams, ever. I would never deter anyone in my chat to deter their dreams. If they wanted a 20-acre horse ranch, have at it. Go for it. They could have all kinds of props on a 20-acre ranch. They could make videos for the next 10 years on there. But I just would want them to know at the risks they would be taking as far as mentally and emotionally what they would be dealing with on the other end of the spectrum.
I guess that's at that point where you figure out how much is it worth it. What it's worth. You mentioned health. That's your mental health.
Oh, welcome, Gray Pill.
Hey, lady, what's going on?
Not much.
Got the ambiance moving, salt music and everything going on.
It's probably keeping my blood pressure down. There, let me turn it down a little bit. No, I turned it down a little too much. There.
Yeah,
so Gray Pill, you are a great example for this. Now, I probably know that this is not your, 100% time of the job, 100% employment.
Mm-hmm.
My topic today was, at what risks will we go through to be YouTube famous? And if you had children, would you support them in those ideas? And would you notify them of the risks they would be taking as far as the negativity that we get on a daily basis from, say, some other creator? They just don't like the way our hair was that day, or the color of our skin, or we're too feminine or not too feminine, or not feminine enough, or too childlike or not childlike. I don't know. They have 1,000,002 different things that people can complain about. By the way, you look very nice today. How was work?
Thank you. I didn't work today, but yeah, thank you.
So I just had a little epiphany, and I was like, oh, we are in the entertainment industry, just a different type.
Yes.
And I was explained to be that, wow, everything is a write-off. Anything that has to do with this is a write-off for your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And being from that entertainment industry, I know how fun those are to use. Yeah. So what do you think?
If it comes to kids, if I support them or not, I will have not a problem with it, but they would just have to understand the pros and cons of it. I don't want to scare straight, a kid, but I do want them to have something to fall back on. So education is always first. So, I mean, they got to definitely get a high school diploma.
Yes.
I don't think college is for everybody, so I wouldn't put that on because not that might be something coming out of my pocket as a parent. If I also, but I know some kids, not saying they're gifted, but some kids might get a full ride. Some kids actually work for their own, so it might not be really coming out of my pocket. It depends on the dynamic of that. But yeah, I would just have like, if they come to me and say, "Hey, I want to be a YouTuber," I ain't gonna lie, I might, because I'm about the reality, so I might raise my eye a little bit and be like, "Okay, I'll hear you out. Do we have a plan? Like, what's going on?" But I was just like, "Hey, if this is something you want to do, you can try it and see how that works." But you still got to get, if you're still in high school, elementary, you still got to go to school. You still got to get your grades up. And I'm fine with that. But if you're stuck on the grades, then guess what? We're going to be falling back on the YouTube or social media TikTok thing. So,
Yep.
because I see a lot of parents kind of live through their kids or push their kids to do stuff like that. And then I don't think they really have like a real good, healthy relationship as a kid growing up. So, there's that.
And not only that, but and like I said, I would advise them of the emotional
Correct.
side of it too, because we do take a lot of beatings, and not physically but emotionally. And you'll have like 15 followers that were a group that would come over and follow you, and then they just all of a sudden up and leave and go somewhere else because someone was talking smack and they listened to them. I've seen that a lot. I've seen whole flocks of people move from channel to channel because someone got a hair up their butt about something. And I mean, it can be very.
Yes. See, I just left like a panel. It was weird. Buddy channel. I premise he's been doing some stuff with his content, but I think it's more like in his feelings, but on his content. But he had a young lady on, and they were viewing a channel where she liked two content creators, if they want to call themselves that, and they was on her panel, and it turned to a whole shouting match on her platform. So I guess she didn't want to. She felt like she would have took a side if she kind of really jumped in. So she ended up kind of dropping both of them at the end of it. And then we was reviewing it, and when I came into it, and I was like, so I'm big about solutions. Like, what's the end game here? So yeah, we're reviewing it. Now what? She was like, well, I just want everybody to just keep reviewing it. I'm like, we're 2 hours and 5 minutes in. So what's the outcome? Well, and then one person like, well, we're trying to, catch this person live. Okay, cool. So when you catch them in a lie, then what? And then, but the other two, the two people in question that we're reviewing, they asking the chat, just going in back and forth. So it just became like more feelings over like the solutions versus logic. So yeah, it was a lot. But overall, I think people need to understand what is their channels about, what is their intent moving forward with their channel. Definitely try not to make consistent boo-boos. Like, let's say, for example, if I say I'm a men's health improvement channel, but I'm not doing that, then I'm a hypocrite. Then you're more than welcome to criticize me to the fullest. I can't get upset with that, but we know there's unstable people that gets upset with that. When I see other channels that does that type of reaction, or like you were saying, to me, those are not content creators. There's just regular people. I said this in the past before. There's regular folks, internet folks, and there's content creators. Content creators know other content creators from afar, whether down to the thumbnail, the clickbait thumbnail, the clickbait title. If, let's say, for example, we'll just use you for example, Inky. If you had a point of conversation in your content, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, I agree with that, I would react to it, clickbait the crap out of you with the thumbnail and all this stuff. I might put dragon flames coming out your mouth, and say this is, and title like this is whack, or lies all days, stuff like that, or put some bars around you, dumb stuff like that. Then I'll tag you on it, let you know that, hey, I'm directly talking about you, because that's pretty much the really go-getter for most. And then I just have the conversation, and then whether it's feelings or logic or whatever, I'm reacting to what you're saying. Now you have a choice to say, you know what, he's done that, so I can react back to it, to the conversation at hand, and then at that point, it's either now going to be a consistent back and forth, or I'm done, you're done, and then we just continue from there. That's it. But
Right.
a lot of unhealthy people take it so personally. This is why I don't think they are content creators at this point. So then it becomes, okay, now I must stalk Inky's all her content. Every time Inky make an upload, I'm just going to critique everything Inky doing. Like, Jesus Christ. So that's when it comes a little bit disingenuous, especially if you're not a negative or a bad person. Because there's some, we've seen in media, there's some lot of toxic influence out there that influences other people in ways that they will hurt themselves, harm themselves in so many ways. It's ridiculous. Or people just so much of a sheep to the system, they would just nod there, yes, this one's right. I'm like, bro, this literally is a hypocrisy here. So those people, I don't mind, you know, everybody should be jumping on board to set those people straight. But when it comes to like regular folks like me, yourself, and any other by like less than 5K, like, and we don't have that mental understanding, it's an issue. So, but yeah,
I agree.
just, yeah, so
1000%.
we just need to understand what our content is and our intent.
And you know, the thing is that they come into this. Some come into the situation, and you know, they want to be a type of creator, and then they get caught up in that negativity zone. And that's what I was saying. You know, we as elders, we can help the community by saying, don't listen to the hype. Don't get drawn into that negativity, because then you'll fall out of what you originally came here for, what you originally wanted to do. And a lot of times people do this, like they get caught up in that riffraff. And next thing you know, their content's about griping. This person did this and this person did that instead of what they originally came for. My thing is I truly enjoy helping others. And if I see, like I was telling B before he stepped down, if I see someone that's younger than me or even older than me, you know, if they're doing something that could be detrimental. Oh, for like instance, that woman, I think her name was like Miss Icy or something. I was like, I'd love to talk to her and just be like, don't let people put these ideas in your head. Who cares what you used to do for a living? If you're not doing it anymore, don't make someone feel bad about it. Don't let someone make you feel bad.
Yeah, because I'm glad, like, because I literally had a bias. Like, I think I had a soft spot in my heart for this person, because that's why I'm glad we had like the group conversation, so I could see another side. And because maybe sometimes like one person saying something, the other person might not get it. But if you have like, you know, another guy, even if it's another race of guy or just women speaking from another side that maybe I don't see, so I was like, that's kind of cool. I'd rather have it like that, because I don't want to feel like is one person beating down on this person. And at the same time, you know, when I say I have a soft spot, like I remember one time way back in the day, before she she was over there a lot on that platform, and she was like a regular panelist. She came on for the conversation, and she was promoted to come over there again, like she stated. And then she got into it, and she kind of invested more into it and found her place there, where she said like, hey, I feel comfortable. And that's great. I'm not knock you, but now like, what is the plan? Because YouTube as a podcaster isn't going to last forever. So let's just say if you're doing really well, 5 years, 3 to 5 years is the limit. If you're doing good in that first year and you like, boom, I'm really making views, I'm really making subscribers, I'm really making a lot of money off this, 3 to 5 years, it should be like, it got to be a plan there. That's what they're doing. But she's not a partner. She's not the face of the podcast. So you're literally and the self-employee. So if they go down or they just be in their feelings, they can say, hey, out, we're not going to pay you. Then what? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, now what you going to do? You're going to go back to stripping? So before she got there, she got in a relationship with a guy. She left. The guy was like forcing her, like, oh, live with me. But she's like, yo, I got a kid. My place is bigger than yours. Like, how they gonna work out? And he's like, no, you need to move in with me. So when she was going to make the jump to do that, or he didn't want her like strip or whatever. So, okay, well, how I'm going to pay my rent? He's like, oh, I'll give you the 2 month rent and we can find something else or whatever. So she's okay. So she listened to him. She stopped stripping, asked for the rent like he promised. He didn't. So now she's like on missing out on the rent. She's like, yo, she's not trying to get evicted and she just sitting there crying. She's on a live stream and she's crying and stuff. And I remember I called her on the Instagram on the live stream, and we was like talking one-on-one. It's like, yo, whatever you need to do, if you need to go back stripping to get this money, do what you need to do. But if you say you don't want to be there for the rest of life, make a plan, an exit strategy moving forward.
Yep.
Like F everybody else, but I don't want you have the F every guy, because every guy isn't that ex-boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Right. I said, just have that in mind. Like, he's not everybody, but do what you need to do for you and your son and move forward. And that's it. And then later on, I think I reached out to her before, where I saw her like was slowly promoting, trying to get girls on the show, whatever she's doing for that podcast. And I reached out to her because in Miami, there's another one, a podcast, and he always looking for girls. So, but I knew the platform she's on, they're a little bit highly misogynistic and say a lot of stuff that's not like cool against women. So I was trying to like reach out to get her and them to connect on a low, so she can have like, you know, more options and up and down Miami. Like she could be that it girl to promote and bring people on the thing. So, but when I reached out to her with the pitch of like, hey, you know, there's other people looking out, wants a promoter to help out this, that, third, but I didn't say the name. And she's like, oh no, I'm trying to learn this real quick and see how this goes. I was okay, cool. And I didn't say anything. And then after that, I saw her on the interview with this guy, and I said, okay, well, she seemed like she's doing a good thing. I seen her Instagram and all this stuff. And I was all right, cool. But then when all of us had the conversation, which I thought was an interesting interview, maybe he wasn't asking the right questions because we were seeing a lot more. So I was like, okay, well, this would be a good thing for us to have a group conversation. And that was it. But I'm sure she saw it because she's on my be in my stories, because I had it tagged in my stories on my Instagram, and I think I had her on my I have her added on Twitter, but she definitely saw it on Instagram, and she's definitely tagged. So
I wonder what she had to say about my comments.
I would love to hear her insight on it.
I would love to have a talk with her.
I love the insight.
Yeah,
but
most definitely.
But in my experience, mostly it may have to be like a one-on-one, not no on panel, because from my experience, from how the platform she be on, it's like, and it's like even here in the smaller spaces, it's like people scared to kind of voice their opinion about somebody else, and then they get all clicky with other people, and then they come on an attack. You know what I'm saying? So I think she might feel some kind of way if they think she's speaking against them, and then they might act a certain way. But I would definitely love to hear her insight of it. And I'm gonna give it 2 years in my mind, give it 2 years and see how she moves. Because according to her on the interview, hey, this is what I want for myself. This is what I dream of and my expectations for myself. Okay, cool. So in 2 years, respectfully, you shouldn't be in that same podcast.
And her coming from that industry, going into another entertainment industry, she should, in her mind, have those goals set. I don't know if she ever voiced them. But as an entertainer, you know, even people that are on the silver screen, unless they become super famous, they don't last long. Because looks start to fail. Your ability to act starts to fail. There is some that have made it really, really big, and it's a handful. And there's lots of starving artists in LA, in New York, in those big, big cities. And so it's the same thing. Like, you have a very, very short period of time to make it. And then you kind of like drift off, you know, YouTube. If you don't bring in, what is it called? Not blacklisting. It's, you get put in that little gray area where they don't promote your channel.
Oh, shadow ban?
Yeah, shadow banning. And I think that kind of happened to me because I did take a 3-month hiatus, and then I shut my channel down because I couldn't take it emotionally. And then I came back, and then I'm like, I went from having 30, 40 viewers in a sitting down to 10, sometimes 20,
Mhm.
you know, and I noticed it. And it wasn't like because of other channels, it was because I made a hiatus. And then people were like, oh, well, she's not on anymore. I'll unsubscribe. And the
Yep.
ones that used to watch consistently
Yep.
kind of
I was,
left.
it's one that I follow. I was going to direct to. 'Cause I have a bias against her, but I saw her like she got like she hit the 100K mark, and then she's not active for like 2 months. And I say, whoa, that's gonna hit her if she's coming back and she's like trying to get the views. It's gonna be low coming back for her. I feel. For me, I had prep for that because I think what I did was when I took like a month, my birthday month off, I had like 3 videos edited for each week for 4 weeks.
Hmm.
So I just did like schedule uploads 6 o'clock in the morning, every like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, spread it out.
And see,
So
that's an amazing idea. That is an amazing idea because then you're still being consistent. Jack, I think his name is Jack and Cody or something in Cody. They do a lot of the ghost hunting stuff. Well, Colby, I think his name is, ended up with and it's well known all over YouTube. He ended up with testicular cancer. And so he had to take a few months off for surgery and treatment and stuff. And thank goodness that his buddy held up that other weight for the channel. And they did have video uploads that they could go back and review and still keep people on point. And then his updates they were doing also, because he was scared to come out and tell anybody about it. And he didn't come out and didn't go public about it. And I think it was like 3 or 6 months later. And then he explained, this is what happened. And everybody was just like, oh my gosh, we wish that you would have, spoke with us about it through it so he could have had that support system. But he was scared of losing his hair. He was scared. And it's the vainness that we have in us. And it's natural. It's normal to have, and I was saying this earlier, it's normal to have some narcissistic behaviors. We are allowed to have a little bit of vainness as long as it's not overly vain.
Yeah, there's traits. We all have traits, but for me, it's a lack of empathy for me. Like you got no empathy, like how of anybody being hurt or how you behave. Like Shoot,
I mean, I even feel bad. Like B was telling the story about his employee that accidentally wrecked the car and didn't tell him about it. I go, well, I have to look at it this way. Me as an elder, I need to give that and explain it to them. There is repercussions for what happened. Yes, accidents happen. But if you don't tell me about it, we can't get the situation rectified. We can't fix it in a calm manner because now, he's upset, he's heated, and then things happen and kids get fired. But if we set that example and explain, then maybe that kid will be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, and give that moment to sit and think about it and learn that empathy, learn that remorse, not empathy, sorry. Learn that remorse of what happened and try harder next time for it to not happen again, kind of thing. I don't know. I think as an adult, a lot of the younger generation doesn't get that explaining because now you have both parents that are working their butts off to provide for a home, and you don't have someone that's more catering to their kids like it used to be, where us kids learned certain dynamics from having a parent at home. I was raised with a parent at home. Wasn't my mother, but it was my grandmother. Mm-hmm. So a lot of kids my age didn't have that second parent at home. They were both working. They were latchkey kids. So, I mean, I'll never forget the kids being like, you're so lucky. Your grandmother makes you food when you get home from school. And so I always did that for my kids, and they would all come hang out at my house because there was a mommy there that they got that attention that they didn't get.
No, I agree. I was, well, first of all, shout out to you for owning being the elder. I don't consider you as, I mean, you know what? I think I had this conversation. Yeah, you own that. So I appreciate you. I think for me, I look at the number for elder, but I know there's more to it than that. So I'm not gonna beat that away. But shout out to you for owning
I
that.
think it's some wisdom,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, because if I did something wrong, like when my kids do silly stuff, I'd be like, it's okay, shit happens. It's okay. Yep, you spilt the soda all over the floor. Yep, shit happens. We just clean it up.
Yeah.
I yell at myself more, and you told me about this. You're like, I don't like it when girls do that. I'll yell at myself more for doing something stupid.
Yeah, that's a big pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Like if I hear somebody like,
I'll be
yo,
like, I'm so stupid.
I'm done. Yeah. I got a lot. I hate that. I so hate that. I'm like, yo, you're not stupid. I think I'm like not the most smartest one in the circle of people. But if I find out like if I happen to be the most smarter person, like, yo, what is going on here? But yeah, you're like one of the people I would say like you're not stupid, you're not dumb, you're not like never do that. Like, yo, I made a mistake or I made a boo-boo, something like that. But never I'm dumb, because for me, and this is how I see it, I feel like when people say that on themselves, like they kind of like programming themselves to think that way. So yeah, no, nobody's stupid.
And we do. And matter of fact, it's funny you say that, because I used to say sorry a lot. Well, I can't say used to. I mean, I still do sometimes. But there was a small portion of time there between 2017 and 2022, 2021, 2022-ish, that I was constantly saying, well, even before 2017. So, but pretty much since 2013 to about 2021, 2022, that I was constantly saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. My oldest is like, Mom, what's wrong with you? And it was from the trauma, from always having to apologize to that person that was being abusive. You know, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Oh, I'm sorry, I did this. Now you're upset. And he was just like, wow, Mom, you've never been like that. You really need to get counseling. Because I was carrying that weight with me all the time.
I had an ex like that. It was weird. Like she would did it a lot. Like every time she did something, when she just say, oh, I'm sorry. Like one time, I remember we sleep together and she slept on my chest, and she just looked so good and she was comfortable. Okay. I didn't care. And then she woke up and she realized she like drew in her mouth. So she wiped her mouth. She's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And it was like the 8th sorry out of every different thing. Like, and I just grabbed her head, like, just kind of like slowly shoved it back down. Like, you're good. Like, you don't have to say you're sorry. She's like, yeah, I went to sleep and I drew one time and my ex, and he didn't like that. I'm like, you're fine. If you drew, like, you just wipe your mouth and put your head back down. You don't have to apologize for something that naturally happens. That's it. So, but she's doing that a lot until like I like stop.
But we got a whole gang of us. So, like Sea Org, Toe Jam that was on last night when I was playing COD, Arkansas, a whole gang of us that they downloaded the game so we could all play together. Isn't that cute? It's so cute. That is my stress reliever. It's so funny because you think that my blood pressure would be through the roof, but then every time I go and check it, I'm like, oh, this is fun. This must be relaxing.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I just retired. Well, I know that's not Call of Duty, but for me, I was literally all over the place. I was like, yeah, C, B, C here, there. And I was just doing all the call outs, everything. I was a very, I say maybe competitive. But yeah, I had to retire that.
Darn, I'm still learning keystrokes. I can't even think about being competitive yet. You get me in a room with all the rest of them are all real people. I live like 5 seconds.
Yeah, and me watching you, and I was like, oh, it's all coming back to me now. And I was like, and I was like, hold on, I'm not trying to make an enemy right now.
And it's hard because I'm like, I actually had to like adjust the sensitivity on my mouse and stuff, so my aim was more smooth and it wasn't so jumpy. So I had to do
better.
that this morning.
Yeah, you get a lot better. The only thing that I saw last time is when you climbed on the roof and I was typing, so I don't think you could see because you had to focus on what you're doing, not really be looking at the chat. And then
you're like, they're on the roof. They're on the roof. I saw.
Yeah, no, the first one was you went on the roof and then you looked left and it was like one wide open, but you didn't aim at him. You went past him to the right and you aimed at the guy that was hiding behind the little whatever that bumper
air conditioner thing.
Yeah. aiming at him like, yo, you got a body wide open right there, clean kill. And he's like, plugging you a couple times. I'm like, yo, get him. And then then your other partner came up and cleaned that one for you, the guy wide open, while you took off the two hiding behind little buildings and such. And then somebody was on the roof across from you and just hitting you dead to right. So I'm like, whoa, like Angie, you ain't see that?
Oh, I just learned that when you see that little flashy white light, that's someone that has a sniper, and the sun is reflecting.
Yeah, it's
on
like
the
it's
scope.
literally real. Yeah, it's realistic. Like you got it, like same way like any gunplay is realistic. Like
I'm like,
when
oh my
you hit that
gosh.
rooftop, every time you move somewhere, start spot checking. Like 3 seconds, give yourself spot checking and move. When it was another guy that was saying something like you was wide open, man. If this was Call of Duty, I'd have got so many kill streaks off you. I'd have loved you for the whole gameplay because you were so wide open. When you go somewhere army wise, run to an object, look left and right, dip. Get to a building, look left, right, dip. If you know somebody's behind you, which is your partner, and you're heading to the building, don't look behind you. He's supposed to be covering your six. The other guy was at the door. Go straight in and go. Wash the windows real quick on the side. Don't stick your body clean out. You're good because everybody else was doing like the call out, but it wasn't like consistent conversation. Like one guy was saying, "Hey, we're here, we're there." That's when and that was me, and it's not your fault, but that's what's like little stuff like you got to pay attention to. Like the one guy, you and B was like, I don't know if it was B, like he was saying, "Oh, you're a little grumpy pants. You don't want to speak." Every gamer is not the same. Like them gamers, like yo, I just want to get the job done and move on to the next type deal. So if y'all recognize those type of players, like look, like kind of follow the lead, but kind of like be flexible with their gameplay versus yours.
Not only that, but you don't know if they're streaming either, so they got to be more serious too.
No, they don't have to be.
They don't have to be like donking around with me while I'm over here lollygag still learning, and I'm
Yeah, but they don't have to be because I don't like a lot of games like I'm good at, but I don't be serious. I just play to just enjoy the game. But then there's guys that happen to just come up on the games that I play, like either some like just be ignorant, silly, or whatever, or goofy or disrespectful. I don't really even argue with it. I just let them do theirs. I record. This is me, and then I'll just like, hey, edit a video, boom, upload it, and that's it. That's how I handle them. But I remember one kid. I was I guess a little bit like how that guy was, but I was more like very polite. He wasn't following mechanics, and he was just staying in the red zone where he's getting consistently damaged, and he was a healer. And I'm like, you need to stay in the back of the line and just heal. Mm-hmm. And I just kept calling out everything he was doing. So he got annoyed by me saying that, and he was like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing." I'm like, you don't. And I'm like real calm about like, you don't. You're doing this, you're doing that. And every time he knew it, I'm calling out every move. And he got mad. He just started yelling and screaming, cursed at me in the mic. I didn't argue with him. I started laughing, turned his volume up, put him on record, upload and play in a video, and put his name in the thing. So that community sees them. Hey, let them deal with them. And that's all I did. So I don't even re-trip. I remember another guy was a tank for another MMO. And all I kept saying to the guy was like, I apologize. And dude just kept getting madder and madder.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll think about sending you my gaming channel and you can check it out.
Yeah.
Get some giggles.
Do you still post on your gaming channel?
I do I still have a lot of extra content I never posted. I've been filtering through, but I mostly post the shorts to build up the viewers. So once it gets where I want it, and then I'll be back over there more active. Because I think I want to do it. I definitely don't want to do the shooting thing, but I understand like sometimes the niche or the trend. But I think I want to stick it more to Yu-Gi-Oh! Where I've been had it. If I decide to go back to DC Universe, I don't know, because that's an MMO versus what I'm doing on podcasting. But when I mentioned the Mario Kart thing, because there's some people on my side, and you said you or somebody else, I definitely want to get like a whole squad, like of people just get together, play Mario Kart, and just have fun, just be entertaining. And that, for me, I think that bring in like more viewers and people that's enjoying it.
I think it's so fun when I play with people that really know what they're doing, and they're kind of like carrying me a little bit. Like it's not like I'm not a good shot. I'm a good shot.
Oh, you're a good shot.
I need to learn to stay tucked away is my thing, and do more, strafing and peeking around corners. I can't strafe as well with this game. I don't know if there's just a button. I haven't figured out what it is yet. But like I just learned how to lay down, go prone. I'm like, it's taken me this long to figure out I have to hold the button down to go prone kind of thing. So I'm still learning my keystrokes. Matter of fact, Big Bird's in here. Big Bird is someone that I played with. They have their channel too. But it's really fun when I get to play with people that really know what they're doing, and I kind of get to tag along and learn. And it was like taking me into the underground. It's the underground radiation thing. I don't know what it's called exactly off the top of my head, but I had to look it up because I'm like, I want to do that again. It's so fun and it's so intense, and it goes pitch black, and you have to have like these little goggles on so you can see, like these little night vision goggles, and you're struggling, you're running around looking for them so you don't get shot in the dark. It's just really intense. And when you really immerse yourself into it, it's so realistic. I mean, it was kind of funny because yesterday I had a couple of people on panel with me, and I actually was screaming. I was all, because it really did legitimately like scare me a little bit. So it just makes it really fun.
That's good.
Big Bird says, I'm not the greatest, but I try to complete missions.
Yeah,
and just have fun overall. Yes,
baby step
too.
practice.
He said the game makes him mad sometimes, but it's just a game. I freaking love it. I mean, there's times that I've been on it, I'm like, I die like every 5 seconds.
Bruh.
But I'm learning. I've literally only been back to playing this game. Like I played it on Xbox, and then I haven't played it for probably 6+ years. And then I just really got it again recently, but I hadn't played it really. And then I got this one, the Warzone 2.0, and I was like, oh, I kind of like really am digging this. And I like to play World of Warcraft, which is role playing. So it's a nice change. It's faster moving. It's more interactive.
That's my classic. That used to be my hardcore for that one. I still have the original World of Warcraft disc for PC.
You too? I do too. Oh my God. They don't even put them on discs anymore, I don't think.
Nope. Got to find them. DC Universe was the same thing. Like I had the first disc. The last one was ending because I think it was out for the first year. And I was trying to find the disc. I didn't want to download it. And I found one in big Kmart. And then after that, no more. Then so everybody like their little bragging rights, like, yo, I still got the disc. Like, yeah, me too.
Yep. I've been playing since 06, and I still have my very first tune, which is my
I still have the cheat codes for the original World of Warcraft. The limited gold and all that stuff. I still have all the codes for it.
Wow.
Yep.
I remember my son, he used to farm it. He'd start that little farming thing, and he'd go to school, come home, and have like 20,000 gold. I'm like, what? Yeah, he would just go around and farm all day while he was at school. He's like, Mom, just don't touch the computer. Don't let it shut off. And I was like, okay.
yeah, that was it.
And got Mom over here babysitting the computer, be like, don't let it shut off. I don't want him mad at me. He's going to give me some of that when he gets home. But my kids are what got me into gaming and YouTube and stuff. So, I mean, I can only be thankful and appreciate them, and still, show them the same respect. And others that are, new to the platform or don't understand or whatever, I'm never going to put them in a position where they would be in danger. And they know that, So it's fun. Gaming is fun. I remember we playing on the Dreamcast, to Nintendos, Ataris. I still have an Atari and an Xbox. With the little stick controller for the Atari.
Yeah, I didn't have that. I had the it was weird. I was the opposing side. Like when Nintendo came out, they had Sega Genesis, so I was the Nintendo guy. PlayStation came out, it was the Xbox. So I've been hardcore PlayStation ever since.
I've never had one. I've never had a PlayStation.
Yeah, I'm on the opposite end of the fence on that one.
I did have the Dreamcast. I've had a Nintendo, Dreamcast, Xbox, Atari.
No, Nintendo, never Dreamcast.
The Dreamcast was the Sega, I think. Or was it separate? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. And I probably should have got a PlayStation. I just never did. I was like, why? The Xbox does the same thing, so I just stuck with the Xbox.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But I think that'd be that's a little Romeo and Juliet side of things. So I was never the fan of the Xbox. So other gamers, we literally hated them. The Xbox console guys, they hated us. So it was like an ongoing thing. Until,
I was so excited when you could start playing your Blu-rays in there. I was like, we'll never need a DVD player again or a Blu-ray player, because now that you could just use it from your gaming console and you can game with it, so it's like dual purpose. Do they do 3D? Because I know my DVD player does 3D.
I believe so. I didn't even get the PS5 yet because I was waiting for all the bugs and stuff. My cousin got his. I don't think I even played around with his, but I was mostly visiting that day. But I believe so. But I know. Do you want
me to put your link in the chat?
No, not a game link. No, I'm not really worried about it.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure that I'm subbed. I think I did, but let me make sure.
I just recently got into watching a documentary on Netflix talking about how cult leaders, building cult leader, or how cult leaders be built, something like that.
You're not monetized yet. You already have 863 subs.
It was just only had that for fun. It was like a fun thing, like to promote the other guys that like my league mates or clan mates, depending on the game we played. And then I think I had it for like 10 years. So it's pretty much just promoting them. Let's say, for example, what was it? It wasn't World of Warcraft. It was Elder Scrolls Online. So we like me and my homeboy play like Elder Scrolls Online. He was that type of guy. He'd go find these rare drops or solve these crazy mysteries. So I'll just like record it, and then I'll do it and record it, and I'll just upload it. And then people will like just hit in my comment section like, "Oh man, thank you. I could never figure this out." Or "Thank you, I appreciate this." Like, "Oh, no problem." So that's what I would do. And I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I just play Yu-Gi-Oh! All the time. It is just upload my my duels, and that was pretty much it. Then DC Universe was like the last one. So currently I just been throwing shorts in, get the subs up, and that's it.
I'll have to for some reason I wasn't subbed. Maybe I typed in the wrong thing and subbed to the wrong one.
The link is there in the private. You can just click on it.
Never mind. So I am subbed to it, but it's with my other channel. That's why. So it's subbed to both now. Yeah, but I was like, I like that little leprechaun.
That's the Mad Hatter.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, from Alice in Wonderland?
He looks like, oh, I guess he is, huh? He looks like a leprechaun.
Yeah. That's out of the longest time. That's a first.
I was like, it looks like a little kind of like a pissed off monkey leprechaun.
The whole banner has Alice on one side and the Mad Hatter right side.
It is.
That's funny.
I didn't even look at the banner.
That's funny.
Wow, I guess I would have noticed that.
The Avatar one, that Mad Hatter is from the DC Universe / also from Gotham City.
Huh.
Because there's a Mad Hatter in Gotham City.
Like Joker?
Yep, like the Joker, Riddler.
Oh, the Riddler, yep.
So there's a Mad Hatter there. He's pretty much does his. He don't have a superpower, but I guess one of his villainous things he does is like he like to control people's minds. So he like put hats on people, and then he controls them that way. Yep.
That's very interesting.
Yep. She's a little leprechaun. It's like I got a python.
I know. I'm like, what? The little green guy. He's cute. He looks like a mad monkey. That's funny.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
I got to tell my people that like, yo, she thought the Mad Hatter was a leprechaun.
Go figure.
Is she the card?
I don't have my glasses on. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Hi, Sugar Glider. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna do some COD. We're gonna see if Sea Org and Toe Jam is ready, and maybe I'll stream some of our learning skills. Yeah.
All right. None of your business. I'm gonna go binge watch some TV.
Oh, that sounds like fun too.
Yep.
I like binge watching movies.
Yeah, I watched both of my shows. So I tapped out of Baki new series just came out. That's anime, and then I finished watching. Oh man, what the crap? I can't remember. It was another anime I finished watching. Oh no, excuse me, it was The Witcher, because the last
I've heard
the
of that.
3 seasons just came out. So they said he quit due to the love of the show, because I guess they're not promoting it or writing toward the book. So I think it's in Henry Cavill, so I don't think he's going to be doing season 5. So I'm thinking like season 4, maybe the last one. So I'm not sure. But I'm looking forward to seeing it if it do come out. But yeah, I finished out Witcher, finished out Baki, finished out Fear on Amazon, and that's it. So came across a documentary, so I'll binge watch that and probably pass out.
Sounds like fun.
Man.
Definitely. Okay, hun. I noticed that you didn't go live today.
I was planning on to it, but I love my mental health, so I was like, I'm asleep and get up and do what I want. So that's pretty much my
Makes
day.
sense. That
Yeah,
makes
so
sense.
I'll definitely probably be streaming in the morning. Make
Okay.
my 8 or 11 in the morning.
Okay. See, that's early for me to like be functional and and like really focus on what people are saying. So sometimes I do miss it. Sometimes I do miss your shows because they're really early for me. Like I start, breezing through YouTube around 11 noonish around my lunchtime. So
Yeah, it'll be
yeah.
around that time. It'll definitely be around that
Okay.
time.
Okay. Well, you have a wonderful evening. Mwah,
All right.
mwah, mwah. It's always a pleasure having you. And I can't wait to watch the next one. Your
Yeah,
next
man.
stream.
All right, I'll catch you later. You have a good one. Enjoy your gaming.
You too, sweetie.
Bye.
Night night. Thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate you all dearly. And please, if you do, truly enjoy YouTube and what it has to offer, just be mindful of, certain aspects of it. But don't give up on your hopes and dreams ever. That's what they're for. Love you all. Mwah.
You call me a saint, but you know I'm a stranger, all willing and able to do